us an update about activity of Decapitated right now, current activity of the band, and your current involvement with Machine Head.
Okay, so welcome everybody. We've been finishing with the recording new album a few months ago. Album is ready. We have 10 new songs. I have to say I'm really satisfied about the record. It's gonna be 8th record of Decapitated. I'm really excited about the new songs. I'm really satisfied about that and about the lineup we have. We have new drummer James Stewart on the drums, and we have a bass player back in the band, which is Paweł Pasek. He used to play with us back in the days, more on the Blood Mantra era. We have a new video for the new song, and we started working for another videos right now. And also we are working for reschedule the UK and Ireland tour in April, end of March and April, because everything so far been postponed or cancelled. So last year we did about 30 shows maybe. We did some nice festivals in Europe and few single shows in Poland. Most important thing, we are waiting for album premiere right now, which gonna happen in few months this year. Since more than 2 years right now, I'm become a member of the Machine Head. It was just great to join the band, and it feels amazing to be part of that. I did 2 tours with them, an European tour and tour in United States, and it was amazing. It was great experience. And also the Machine Head have a new album ready, which is make me also really happy about feeling that I'm a part of the album. And I did a few riffs for two songs, and I did a few solo parts. And I have to say the album is amazing, and Rob and Jared, they did an amazing job, and it's gonna be a really strong album and really amazing comeback with the new songs and production. Production is amazing. Just waiting for the album premieres, like Decapitated and also Machine Head. So gonna be really cool year, I guess. Yeah.
Okay, so let's go for the main theme of the interview, the amazing and brutal and catchy album Organic Hallucinosis. What was the starting point for the album?
Organic Hallucinosis, because we released this album in 2006. I think I've been collecting riffs and some ideas since probably 1 or 2 years before. That was the times that we've been releasing albums in every 2 years. It was pretty fast, I have to say. When I looking back for that, it was like recording the album, touring for 1 year. It was the different times because everything was faster. Like today, to release the album, it takes so long, like at least 6 months after you deliver a mix. This time I was finishing studies. I was studying music on academic music in Krakow. It was really busy time for me because finishing music academy, it was like connected with so much practicing, so much exams. I have to do this two things in the same time, like finalize the Academy of Music class, making the material for Organic Hallucinosis. It was quite intense time for me. I've been looking for some inspirations that comes from the metal music, my favorite bands. I've been listening those certain times. Also, I've been playing and listening a lot of classical music, and my school was all like musicians, and we've been partying together, and we've been listening so much music, so much different music, everything, so many things around going on. Our Organic Hallucinosis was comparing to the things we did before. It was completely different. it was kind of another step for our career, because production was really good and the songs been intense and strong and full of power. We touched the different territories with the music, because Negation was like comeback for classic death metal playing, but Organic was something else. Our imagination was on a different level that time. And the interesting thing about that album is that we never had any pre-production before that album, before this recording session. We didn't play rehearsals, we didn't practice that, and we never played that song together before we entered the studio. I didn't even record the ideas on any of the program or anything like that. It was just, I have the ideas which I was just jamming on guitar. My program was my head, basically, my brain, so I try to remember everything here. I just play those ideas to Vitek, and he trying to make some arrangement in his head. It's kind of ridiculous. I think we just didn't have much time. Me and my brother, we've been just so much, we know each other, and we know how we play together, how we speak about music together. We understand each other so well that I just play guitar, I just, introduce my ideas and songs to him just by playing on the guitar. And he just listened that, he was there just listening, and he goes to his practice room with drums, and he practiced alone by himself. Also, the important thing, the second song on this album, Day 69, is actually composition starting from the drums. So it's basically Vitek's composition, because he did the drums first for the song, and then I add guitars in the studio. And that was like the second time actually we did that, let's say, opposite way of making the song, which is, I think, is kind of interesting.
About Day 69. Previously, you told in other interviews that it took 2 hours from you to finish all guitar parts for the songs. Is it true?
Yeah, it's really close. Yeah, it's, as I said, we have a drums ready. We have a drums because Vitek had the whole song prepared, and I think it was close to the end of the session. I have most of the songs recorded already, and that was the time for this song. And I didn't think too long for that riffs. I just sit there in the studio with the Hertz brothers, and just like a riff by riff, I start to track this more like a spontaneous way of, we have the drums like that, it goes like that, like bam. Okay, so I just trying to follow together with the drums. I just trying to follow like what's the energy coming from the drums. I trying to do something really connected with the drum beat. So I didn't think too long, and in a harmonic way, in a musical way, it's those chords I play there, all those patterns are like based on the drums, or what the drummer do, plus the chords that I did on the other song. So it's actually kind of in the same atmosphere that like songs like a post-organic or the poem about the old prison man, the first song. So basically, it's kind of in a musical way. It's really close to the other songs. It's just I was just trying to transport this character of the album to this song. It's been quite easy for me. So it was quite fast indeed. I don't know if it was 2 hours or 3 hours, but it was for sure it was 1 day or like half of a day to create this song on the guitar.
Did you make any adjustment to the arrangements or all the tempos?
Not really. I think we take some of the part of the song out. It's been a little bit too long, or it doesn't fit. We make it a little shorter, and that was all. And then, like when I track the guitars, I realized that we gonna do this break when we have this drum solo. I don't remember that any of the death metal band have a drum solo inside of the song. So because drums was so well prepared, it was just enough to leave it like that, and it's really amazing part of the song.
What about other songs? Is there any demo? I guess no.
There wasn't any demo. We just entered to the studio and we record this album. We didn't make any demo before that album, or even in the studio. We just went to the studio and we start to record, starting from the drums, then guitars, bass, and vocals. Some of the songs we create in the time we record. We don't have any leftovers from this album. Sometimes some of the riffs don't fit for the album, so there I have still somewhere a little bit in my head, or a little bit, or some laptop, some in some memory laptop, some programs. I have some of the few riffs, like they are there since many years. And actually I used one of the riff I have since about 10 or 11 years to new Machine Head album, sent to Rob, and he make the full song based on that riff. So
I want to go back to the inspirations for the album. Probably Meshuggah and Fear Factory influenced the band at the time.
Yeah, that's true. I think Meshuggah could be one of the influential band for the record. Fear Factory, I've been listening to Fear Factory too. Also, Hate Eternal. I've been listening lots of stuff back in the days. For sure, lots of Morbid Angel, that's for sure. Morbid Angel was always there, like, influenced me. I discovered actually Meshuggah, because I discovered Meshuggah quite late. Like in 2005 or yeah, something like that. I've been listening different stuff. I've been listening more death metal. I mean, huge fan of Hate Eternal and Morbid Angel, and that was my best bands during those times. It doesn't mean that I was listening only death metal before, because I've been a huge fan of Metallica and Pantera and Slayer and Testament and many other bands. So, but this kind of playing like Meshuggah, I talk about like albums like Chaosphere, which was still something different that they started to do after. It was really technical and extreme and fast. And it freaks me out, like so much power, and it just like pushed me, like it was like it's like a sniff of cocaine for me, like bit like in a musical. And yeah, so Meshuggah, Fear Factory, I listen to this music and I'm trying to imagine like what those guys do, that they have so much energy in their music. And I trying to do the same with Decap, like put everything on a higher level of the extreme and power. That's actually Organic Hallucinosis. Like, since beginning, since first to last now, it's just like brutal assault of the riffs, and it takes only 32 minutes and 32 seconds. But when I listen to this album these days and it's finished, I'm like, that's enough. Like if there would be one more song, I would probably like not handle that anymore. It's intense album. It's really intense album.
Yeah. Let's go to the lyrics and to the vocals. What about Covan? When Covan joined the band and how it happens?
I think my first impression about Covan was like I seen this guy singing on the show with his band Atrofia Red Sun. I think it was in Krakow, in Studio Club. I just have these flashbacks when I was looking for the replacement for Sauron, for our previous vocal. Do I know some dude that he could be replacing and he could be the frontman of Decapitated? Because it wasn't easy to replace, because we already been on the scene since quite long, since 10 years, and we've been recognized, and we trying to keep the same level or even better level with another guy. And because we spent 10 years together with the first singer, we know each other very well, and we, in the musical way, in a personal way, and that was everything so natural for us. We just go there and play, and everything was great, because we've been longtime friends, because we met even before we started the band. We've been like a family, and replaced one of the members from this kind of group was like, holy shit. It was like weird, because that was the first time that we have this kind of situation that we need to find another guy for the band. I never think about that before, and it was kind of shock for me when I hear from Sauron that he wanna leave the band and he don't wanna live this way, and he wanna just do another things. And I knew that it's gonna be completely different right now, which happened with Covan, and he needed time to become the more tight in the band, more in the time, he needs some time to become to the level we have already. But he did, because we play a lot of shows, lots of tours in the US. We spent so much time together. He just went to studio after just one show. We played one show, and then we went to the studio to record album, which he never listened the songs. He didn't know the material, nothing. As I said before, we didn't have any demo and anything like that. I can't believe, like, from this craziness that we didn't, jam together. We have new singer. We didn't have songs together. Like, we make like at least 40% of this album in the studio. We've been able to create such a fucking amazing album, And for many Decapitated fans, it's like the best album. I don't know if it's the best album or not. For me, every album is special for me and have different meaning and different memories and stuff like that. But for sure, that album is quite unique talking about the Decapitated discography. That's for sure. And it's only album with the Covan. That's actually important because, and I remember we in the studio, it was crazy because I was pushing so much that time. I was crazy, so much crazy about the deliver the highest level of everything, the highest level of performance, the drums, guitars, and everything needed to be perfect, too perfect, So I was a dictator about everything what's going on in the studio. So I pushed Covan so much that he was pissed about me, and he was in shock as well because he never experienced anything like that before in his life. Because I pushed him like a motherfucker, and he was in shock, but he did it. He did, and I think those vocals are amazing. He got a really good English pronounced, and he got something in his voice like I don't know, but big charisma vocal. He delivered really, really amazing vocal. Like, it was another level. Sauron have a great death metal voice, especially on the Negation album. The vocals are brutal and really classic death metal growlings and amazing vocals. But Covan delivered completely different thing, different quality. After a few months we've been released this album, I remember checking Marti Fridmen website, and I seen that Marti Fridmen posts something like the album of the month or best band, and he got Decapitated, Organic Hallucinosis in his best band from metal these days, and Organic Hallucinosis, like he said, this is like a perfect metal album, and especially because of the voice, the vocals are not like death metal growling, which for him, like, he's, Marty's from different scene, is like Megadeth and clean singing and stuff like that. But he said, like, for this kind of music and these vocals are, you can take serious. So yeah, Covan delivered completely new quality. And the thing is that on the beginning of the session, when we start to record vocals, we didn't know what kind of direction with the sound, because we didn't know what to expect from him. We wasn't sure what kind of the direction we should go with the new songs about the vocal. That it's supposed to be growling or high or like that was a big question about like what kind of vocals, and it was terrifying for me. I was, holy shit, we need to record the album right now and we don't know what to do with the vocals. Like what kind of sound we're gonna have it here. Yeah, it was scary, it was weird, and we have those vocals ready, and then we went for the tour. And after the tour, after 1 month, we come back to the studio to finish, and then Covan became a completely different singer after that tour. He sing every day on the show live, and then when he stand and stay behind the mic in the studio, he started to do vocals, and that was Organic Hallucinosis vocals, and it was like, holy shit, this is it. And we delete all vocals we record before and record everything again. And believe me, if we will leave the previous vocals, it will be fucking weird. It will be no good, I guess. It will be like for sure so much worse.
And what about the lyrics? Who brought the idea of using Charles Manson lyrics for the first song?
To be honest, I didn't care too much about the lyrics of this album too. It's all the Covan lyrics. It's all the Covan lyrics, and his imagination and what would he been interesting to, and everything was like beyond my imagination and beyond like I was like more focused on the riffs. I focus more on the lyrics right now these days. It was some stories about some crazy things, about the serial killers, about the drugs, about the after drug visions and stuff like that, and about the little bit also about the humanity destroying the planet by some toxic rains and stuff like that. So it was all very toxic, very green, very weird, very weird. As actually it goes good together with the riffs somehow. But don't ask me about the lyrics for that album because this is another story. It's fantasy. It's a fantasy.
So about recording sessions, how much time the band spent in the studio final?
It took 2 months because it took like 1 month of recording and then another month we come back for another month to mix and do again these vocals and some of the solo parts and mix. I mean quite long but not that long. These days we record album like with the mix, it's almost 3 months process.
Are there any videos of the recording process?
Yes, we have quite a lot of the videos from this session. There were people that visiting us, our friends. Some of them got a camera. Actually, I have these tapes at home. Maybe there will be occasion one day to share that videos with the fans. Yeah, we have some videos from this session, and we have also some videos from the negation session. And yeah, we have lots of interesting stuff, I have to say. Yeah, me as a fan, I love to watching this kind of stuff behind the scene, and especially the materials from the studio are probably the best. Like, if you are a musician or you are a producer or something like that, even for the fans.
Previously, you mentioned Randall Warhead as a main amp for the album.
That was actually 2 main amplifiers for this album. It was Randall Warhead. It was Mesa Boogie triple rectifier. I don't remember which cabinet we've been using because it was something that Hertz guys got. They have one cabinet, like this cabinet was there all the time in the studio, and all the bands they recorded, they used this cabinet. But I don't remember what kind of speakers and things like that. We've been using 2 heads. We do 2 tracks on one head, and then we switch, and then we record 2 another lines of the guitar on the another amplifier. Probably, I think we've been using also this BB preamp, the orange one, for maybe boosting the Mesa. I use 2 guitars for this album because there is 2 tunings on this album. No, actually, yeah, 2 main guitars, and finally I use 3 guitars because I record solos on different guitars. And okay, so there is 2 tunings. It's a C-sharp standard, and I was using Run guitars, a Polish brand. I have this model. What is the name of this copy of the Dimebag model of the Washburn? Stealth. Okay. Yeah, so it was Run guitar. I've been using also for 2 songs because it's a 7-string song. I've been using Ibanez Universe guitars with the passive pickups from the Marxio. And in the Run guitars, I've been using EMG 81. Solos, I've been recording solos also on Run guitars, but a different Run, and also for EMG 81.
Do you still have those guitars?
No, unfortunately no. The main guitar I use for this record, the Run, I give as a gift for the player from Cattle Decapitation when we've been playing together on the Summer Slaughter tour. It was my gift for him because he helped me on the tour. He gives me his amplifier for the tour, stuff like that. Yeah, I wish to have this guitar these days because it would be amazing. But it was really good guitar. So yeah. But you know, and then the Ibanez universe I've been using, it wasn't mine. Friend of the Hertz guys have this guitar in the studio, and actually I didn't plan to use 7-string, but they said like, hey man, we have a 7-string here, do you wanna try? And I was like, yeah, why not? Let me see. And then we have those two songs, Revelation of Existence, and the second song is Flashback. It's just like sounding better on the lower string, on the 7-strings, so we decide to play these two songs in B.
What was the inspiration for the guitar sound of the album?
That wasn't any inspiration. We never have something like we go to the studio and we want to sound like this or this or this. I think it's wrong way to do it. If you go to studio and we do that maybe on the first and the second album that we've been playing our favorite albums for the guys from the studios, and we say like, oh, we like this and maybe we can sound like that. But this is not good direction. We're trying to just bring as much equipment we can, like amplifiers, cabinets, and guitars and stuff like that, and that's just create something ours, something which will be the best combination of what we have right now in the studio. That's it.
What is your favorite track of the album?
I will go for Day 69, and I will have the second Post-Organic probably. But it's changed sometimes, because the visual delusion is pretty sick as well, I have to say. That track it's another thing. But I like Day 69 because it's short, it got great drums, this kind of, the riff, this goes up, this I remember all those guys we played Summers of the Tour after this record in the US, and so many people were like, dude, this fucking riff, the Day 69, this it was simple trick, but it works, and some of the people were freaked out about that. It's complicated and fast, but it works live. It's really, really sounding good live, so it's good track.
And what about Revelation of Existence?
I like this track as well. This is crazy because it's been inspired from the classical music. I have a friend that been a cello player, and we've been listening some of the cello, and I was like, holy shit, it's like that was the kind of rhythm that inspired me for doing this. And that's why it's not like this song is not like one, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1 and come back. It's not like typical 4 and 4 metric system. Sometimes like we play these songs live, like people like start off and then like opposite, and they lose their control about what's going on.
That's great. What is the hardest track to play?
Hardest track to play? The last song on the album, Invisible Control. It's kind of hard because it's so fast picking all the time for a long time. It's like so crazy to keep going with that long, with that time. Like you're trying to play Bleed from Meshuggah or something like that. This is quite hard to play. You need to be in a really good shape to play that song since beginning to the end. It's like same like with Homosum, for example, like crazy picking. Visual Delusion was always also crazy. I mean, all those songs are not that easy. It's hard material. Post-Organic is hard to play as well. Like left hand on the main riff on Post-Organic, crazy.
Okay. Any thoughts on Flash Black song?
It's song made in the studio completely. Since nothing. Like probably Vitek do some drums. Maybe I have a riff, so we start to jam together, and then we add maybe 2, because it's simple song. It's like have like maybe 4 riffs and then repeat. Everything is repeat in the same. So it's like copy paste of the 4 riffs and then copy paste in the same. And somehow it works. It's cool construction, simple. I like this track. I don't know what to say about that. It got this kind of vibe like a jamming. It's kind of atmospheric, kind of mantric in some way. Brutal. I like those two. I like those two songs as well. They're special, I have to say.
Can you tell us the story behind the artwork for the album?
I wasn't responsible for looking for the artist. for this album. That it was a bass player and Covan. It was Martin and Covan. They taking care about the cover, the finding artist. Somehow they find Seth from Greece. I think they sending him a title and the lyrics. I don't remember much about this. I realized that, but back in the days, I was more like a guitar player, composer, still main person, but I didn't give too much attention about things going on around the album, which is the cover. I seen the cover for the first time. I was like, wow, it's cool, it's different. I didn't like in 100% like I like today, but because it was not that much like death metal, and I don't know, my imagine about that was different, but somehow I think it fits for the album, for the music, and it's for sure it's a really cool cover. It's really nice, it's really professional. I think Seth did a great job with that one.
Would you use Seth again for future artwork?
I don't say no, but Decapitated is this kind of band that we always looking for something different. We always trying to deliver different album, different cover, everything. We like to change. You can see that every Decapitated album is different. You can recognize that it's the same band because I'm the main composer all the time, so my guitar style is there, so it's like a connecting thing. But lyrics change, cover change, and songwriting and atmosphere change. Sometimes change a lot, sometimes change really drastically way. Even for Carnival is Forever and then Blood Mantra is huge.
Yeah.
And then like I've been listening to some songs of Anti-Cult, and this, when you compare this album to the Negation or Nihility or even Organic, it's completely different band. And right now another album which we're gonna release this year is gonna be surprise too.
Here's my last question. If you could go back and change one thing or anything about the album, what would it be?
I just think if I would like to change anything on this record, it's actually this record is this one of this record that it's pretty much everything is perfect. This record is actually like it's supposed to be. That's Organic Hallucinosis record, and sounds like that. And I could go for some arrangements. Maybe I could take out some of the riffs, make some of the songs shorter, maybe, or probably today I will change a little bit of the tempos. I think some of the tempos are maybe a little bit too fast, maybe too slow, wherever, some small things about the arrangements. Basically, to be honest, I think it's a great record, and I will not want it to change anything right now, because this record works. It just works. It's great. Everybody did a great job. All musicians make a great job, and her studio sounding great. I remember opinions about these records from the different bands these days when we've been released this record, and it was so much enthusiasm about how this record is sounding. I think in 2006 this record sounding really good comparing to the other productions around. Great job. I remember even Tomas Haake from Meshuggah, he discovered this album because our product manager in Nuclear Blast, he was driving some of the Meshuggah guys to the airport from the tour in LA. They just grinding the record in the car, and Tomas Haake was like, who is this? Gerardo said it's Decapitated. And I remember then like reading Tomas Haake interview in Metal Hammer, in Polish Metal Hammer, and he been asking about if he know anything about Polish scene, and he said that Decapitated and Organic Hallucinosis is fucking crushing the album, and like all the Polish metalheads should be proud of these guys and stuff like that. I was really proud about. I can maybe add, because it just reminds right now, back in the days I chat with some of the students from France, a guy studying musicology on some French university, finishing some of French conservatory. He did his final work on the study about Organic Hallucinosis album. It's music analysis. So yeah, you have like the book with the he written about every song, about the riffs, about you have the notes up there, you have the construction of the songs, and that's everything about this album from the side of the musicology guy who really knows about the music, like from the construction side.
Thank you for the interview.
It was my pleasure.
It was an honor for me to do it.
My pleasure, man. Thank you for taking your time as well, and in case some of the people will watching that, all the best for you guys. Thank you for watching.